Hello students, welcome back. This is in continuation with our previous video. So where we were studying about the various selection techniques and specifically about the types of tests. So we already studied about achievement tests and aptitude tests as well as test for motor and physical abilities. So now let us move on to the next type of test which candidates will be subjected to during the selection process. It's something known as personality tests. See, it's very interesting to note one thing. Normally, candidates are hired in their job based on their qualification, their skills, and all those things. They are hired at the job. But most of the times, they are fired. They are asked to leave the company because of non-performance. And normally, non-performance happens because of traits like lack of proper motivation, a negative attitude, or temperament. All these things, temperament, all these things are some of the issues which result in non-performance, because of which employees are fired. They are asked to leave the company. So these variables can be analyzed by the use of personality tests. So a person might be having very good cognitive ability, they might be having extremely good IQ skills, all those things may be very good in that person. But if that person is lazy, they are not going to perform well. And they are not going to contribute well to the company also. Laziness is not something which can be measured by way of IQ. Instead, it can be measured by way of these some of the personality tests what we will be studying about. So, and normally personality tests are normally administered again to fill top level positions. See, for example, Hewlett Packard, when it was trying to select candidates for its CEO position, which had become vacant, it subjected the candidates who had qualified all these rounds. Just one more round has to get qualified, after which they occupy the CEO's post. They get the job. They get the job offer for a CEO. So all these candidates were subjected to a personality test wherein they had to answer almost like 900 questions, different questions. It was a 2-hour test. So 900 questions they had to answer. It was for 2 hours. The questions are not like any big rocket science or anything. You just have to answer true or false for those questions. See, I'll give you one example of the question which was asked in this 900 sample of questions. A sample of the question from these 900 questions I will just give you. It asked a question such that, what would be your reaction in case you hit your leg against a stool? Will you get angry if you hit your leg against a stool? This was one of the questions. And for that, the candidate has to answer like yes, true or false. See, sometimes the questions are structured in such a way where the candidate does not even know that the answer that they give, see, whether they give true or false. In case they give true, it might be an acceptable answer. Sometimes even if they give false also, it will be an acceptable answer. So they do not know exactly like what is the correct answer for that question, they will not know. So based on what their actual temperament is, based on what their actual feeling is, they will give an answer of true or false. So this is one of the ways in which this thing can be given out. Now, as we had already told, there are various ways in which personality tests can be done. There is one interesting test which is given here, something called as thematic apperception test. What will happen in the thematic apperception test is a picture will be given. Now that picture will be it will be a little vague, so it will be open to ideas. Looking at that picture, different people will get different ideas to interpret that picture. So people will be asked to describe, the candidate will be asked to describe what is the situation which is happening there, who are the characters in that picture, So something like this, they will be asked to describe. One example I can just show you over here. See, have a look at this. This is a sample picture card from thematic apperception test. So looking at this, one of the employee answered, this picture represents how my mom will feel in case I lose my job. So this is how this person had interpreted it. So this person who's in the front, they interpreted it as themselves. The person who's there at the back, they interpreted it as their mother. And they said that the situation in this picture is like how my mom feels in case I lose my job. So this is the way in which that person interprets it. And another person will interpret it in a different way. Having a look at another type of personality assessment test, something known as sentence completion test. Sentence completion test will be like a half-filled sentence will be given and the remaining sentence will be like blank. You have to fill in the blanks. I'll give you one example. My family doctor is dash dash dash. So you have to fill up the sentence. Playing golf is or playing cricket is dash dash dash. You have to fill up the sentence. Dictating mails is so and so. You have to fill the sentence. So obviously from this you can understand what is your motivational capability or motivational levels, or maybe even your leadership levels. All those things can be seen here. Then having a look at another type of personality test, something called as self-report personality inventories. So it's also known as MMPI. So the full form of this MMPI is it's basically developed by an institute from Minnesota. So it is Minnesota multi-faced personality inventory. So how this test works exactly is a candidate, they will have to answer almost 556 questions, which is the updated version right now, comprises of 556 questions for which they have to answer true or false. For example, one question, one statement, I'm not even saying it's a question, they have to answer to 556 statements by the way of true or false or can't say. That option is also given. So one statement will be, for example, my head is hurting all over most of the times. All over my head, I feel hurt. I can feel headache most of the times. True, false, or can't say. Another question is, I am afraid where, another statement is, I am afraid where I might become crazy. So this is another statement for which you can answer true, false, or can't say, based on which your personality can be assessed. See, the main reason of this MMPI is, it's a little different from thematic apperception or sentence completion or other type of personality tests. See, other types of personality tests try to check for your motivational levels, leadership levels, and other capabilities, other personality related aspects. But this MMPI is trying to diagnose a medical condition. It's quite, it's trying to understand whether the person is having any kind of a mental problem in them, especially while recruiting people for jobs like a security job, or you're trying to recruit them like for a law enforcement, a police, or you're trying to recruit them like for in the medical field, or in case you want to recruit a person, an armed security guard. See, many jewelry shops will be there, for example, where there is a person who's having a this one ammunition with them. They will be having some kind of a gun or something with them, just to ward off possible thieves. So since such dangerous, or even in case people who are working for a nuclear power plant, or any person who's working for a plant which is dealing with kind of dangerous chemicals. So obviously such people, in case they are mentally unstable, we can imagine how much damage can occur. A security guard who is having a gun, who's going through a clinical condition like a depression or anxiety, or in case they are going through a condition like he's a schizophrenic. Okay. So what happens? They might just trigger off the gun at someone, or they might trigger it on themselves. If a doctor is mentally unstable while doing surgery, rather than performing the surgery, they may end up killing the patient itself. So obviously you need to diagnose the medical condition of such people. How the medical condition, especially their mental health, how it can be diagnosed. This is one of the ways this MMPI survey will help in diagnosing conditions like depression, conditions like hysteria, or is he schizophrenia? Is he facing schizophrenia? All these things they can diagnose. Okay, so now moving on to another type of test. You have, so with this, personality tests are completed. Moving on to another type of test. So right now we have completed with uh, cognitive ability, the aptitude test, then achievement test, then the motor skills and personality tests. Moving on to the fifth type of test, you have something known as work sampling for employee selection. So this is an employee, a candidate rather, is asked to perform a sample of the actual work. So some small specific tasks of the actual job they are asked to perform. Based on how well they are performing those specific tasks, it is decided whether they are capable and whether they can be moved on to the next round or not, or another test can be administered or not. I'll give you one small example here. See, for a professor's job, they are asked to conduct a demo class for the students. Some of you might have been sitting in the demo class, which for which a professor is coming and taking a demo for you people. This demo class which a professor is taking is an example of work sampling. How, see, normally professors take class for almost 1 to maybe even 1.5 hours also. But in a demo class, they are probably asked to teach for a sample of the time frame for which they are expected to teach. They will be asked to teach for somewhere about 15-20 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes, whatever it might be. In that 10 to 15 minutes itself, you can judge how well is their communication skills, how well are they in terms of persuasiveness, how well are they in terms of engaging the students' attention. All that can probably be judged within that span of 10-15 minutes. And another situation and another aspect to be covered here is, see, a professor's job includes many things. It's not only delivering lectures. It also includes mentoring students. It includes guiding the students for their projects. It may include preparation of PPTs, preparation of notes. All these things are other types of job. It may be involving doing other kind of administrative work relating to the college, like compiling their attendance, calling up the parents and informing the parents that the child is not attending class regularly. Okay, then examination duty may also be given to them. So invigilation. So these are all other tasks also under the job profile of a professor. But however, we are not, they will not be tested on all these things, because obviously it will be extremely time consuming. Just one task among the entire job profile will be tested. So this is how it will be done for other job profiles also for employees. There will be several tasks for a job. 1 or 2 tasks will be tested. That is called as work sampling, a sample of the job. A sample number of tasks will be selected for evaluating the employee's performance. Then you have another thing called as management assessment centers. There is something called as in-basket. You have a leaderless group discussion. You have management games and individual presentations. First, let me explain to you what do you understand by in-basket. In-basket is a situation where, okay, so first of all, what is an assessment center? An assessment center might be something like as simple as a conference hall, or it might be a full-fledged center also. It might be a space which is having like around 2,000 square feet of office space. Around 10 to 15 candidates will be put in that assessment center. So normally the tasks and the testing that is done in this assessment center spans for like almost 2 days with breaks in between, of course. So what happens here is these candidates will be tested on real life situations that they will be facing in the job. A simulation of the real life situation will be made, and they will be tested like how they are handling these real life situations on the job. And there will be some experienced observers who are observing these candidates. They will be probably observing them by way of a camera, and trying to understand which candidate is performing well among all these 12 or 15 candidates. In basket, each candidate will be given a list of various items. Like let us say memos might be given to them, or these candidates might be given some mails, some notes will be given to them, some phone calls will be made to them. So the expert who is assessing these candidates will observe how each of these candidates are dealing with these items that are coming to them. How are they dealing with the memo? How are they dealing with some mails? How are they dealing with some phone calls which might be stressful? So that they are trying to understand. So based on this, they will know that, okay, when they are there in the actual job position also, they will perform in a similar efficient manner. Then you have leaderless group discussion. A group of people, many of you might have gone through this actually, when you were taking assessments before joining your MBA, you might have gone through this. You might have gone through a group discussion. Many of you might have written your CAT exam or any other type of entrance exam. You might have written, and you might have gone through this group discussion. What happens in a group discussion is a topic, all of you know how it works. A topic will be given to the group, and the group is leaderless. So those 10 or 15 candidates, or it may be, they may be bifurcated into two groups also, comprising of 7 or 8 candidates each group. And a topic will be given to them, and a discussion will be initiated among these candidates. Now, when this discussion is initiated, the observer, the expert who is observing these candidates, will try to find out who is leading the group, who is exhibiting leadership capabilities, who is getting accepted by the group the best, who is having good convincing capabilities, who is having a good hold over the group, who is sticking to the topic and not deviating away from the topic. All these capabilities will be assessed by the evaluator who is observing this group, and based on that, the individual's leadership capabilities, communication levels, persuasiveness, all these things can be understood. Then you have management games. Again, management games, it's again a similar situation where a situation is given to these candidates. Each of them may be representing different companies in that game. And and a situation is coming to them where some kind of a problem all these companies are facing. So how each of these candidates is solving that problem. It's something similar to case study analysis. A problem is there for the company. How will you solve that problem? So how you, it might be like spending extra on advertising to solve the problem. It might involve managing the inventories better to solve the problem. It might be changing your production process to solve the problem. So there will be suggestions, and there will be different ways in which different candidates are solving a particular problem which is hitting them, which might hit them in real life situation also. Then individual presentations. I think again, you people might be accustomed to this. Topics will be given to the candidate. They will be asked to make a presentation on that. Communication skills, level of persuasiveness, confidence levels, all these things will be tested on this aspect. Another interesting type of test, you have something known as video-based situational testing. So in a video-based situational testing, what happens is a video will be played for the candidate in which a certain scenario is taking place. After a certain point of time, the video will be paused. And now the candidate will be asked, if you were in the situation, what will you do? So here I have given you an example here. There was one video played. There is a video played for a candidate who's being tested. In that video, a manager is upset about the condition of the department, and he starts firing. He starts scolding one of his department's employees. Manager says, well, I'm glad you're here. Associate, oh, why is that? Manager, look at this place. That's why. I've taken a day off and come back to find the department is in a mess. You should know better. So, but the associate defends, but I did not work late last night. I was not even here yesterday. Manager says that maybe you might not have been here yesterday, but there have been plenty of times before when you have left this department in a mess. This time you might not have done this mess, but there have been many times where you have left the department messy. Here the video stops. And now the candidate will be asked, if you were in this situation, the candidate will be tested. If you were there in this situation, what will you do? So there are certain options that this associate is, if you were this associate, what would you do? So there are many options which are given to the candidate. You will let the other associates responsible for the mess know that you had to take the heat. So if you were there in that position, will you start scolding your colleagues that because of them you were getting the scolding? Second is, will you just clean up the department and make sure that the manager calms down now and later reason it out with the manager? Third situation is, will you suggest to the manager that he talk to the other associates who made the mess? Before you scold me, first you talk to the others, whoever might have made the mess. Will you tell the manager to do something like this? Or D, you just stay silent and you escalate the issue to the manager's boss. So if you were in the situation of the associate, what will you do? Based on the reply that the candidate gives to this, his personality is again, his qualification into being the getting the job is tested. Then you have other two more types of tests, something known as miniature job training and evaluation. So for a brief, a certain task will be taken. Training will be given to a candidate on that task. After the training is given, the candidate will be asked to perform the task. So if the performance is good, we can understand that, okay, this candidate, if he's trained well, he will perform very well. So it's assumed that now, based on the training, if the candidate can perform well, even once they join the job, if you give them adequate training, they will perform well. Many Japanese companies actually, they like to adopt this strategy. See, it's very interesting to note that these companies, they normally do not see. In the few slides back, few videos back itself, I had told you people about something known as job description and job specification. So what skills should you have? What qualifications should you have? What abilities should you have before you join a job is job specification. Some Japanese companies do not like to make specification because they feel that we'll take whoever comes, we will train them well, and then we will utilize them for our jobs. So this is how their mindset of thinking. So they do not waste time in searching for candidates with the right skill. They take candidates and they make them into a cadre for the right skill. Okay, so I think you will understand the difference between what some companies do for hiring and what other companies might do for hiring. So obviously, those candidates will be accepted for the job who are performing well after receiving the training. In spite of getting the training, they are not performing that well. Such candidates will obviously be rejected. Then you have interest inventories. Okay, so this is something like a career planning situation, what can be given to candidates. Now, especially, this is more applicable for those candidates who are trying to get promotion. See, I already told you a few videos back. Selection can be done in two ways. You can either select people from outside the company, or you can select the people from within your own company also. You can promote somebody who's in another position into another position which has fallen vacant. So you can always ask your employees who are working in the company to tell something about their interests. Based on what interest inventory, so series of questions will be asked. That questions, when the employee answers their interests, the person who's conducting the test will get to know. Finally, a report will be generated. In that report, it will be mentioned the interests of that employee is similar to the interests of another person who's holding a good job in a good profile job, let's say in the field of accounting or in the field of medical or whatever it might be. So even in terms of thinking about promotions, if the interest of one candidate or the employee who's working, if their interests are matching the same interests of another job holder who was very efficient and whose position has become vacant now because they might have retired, whose position has to be filled, this person's interest is same as that job holder's interest, whoever has left and due to which vacancy has arrived, and that person was extremely good, you can obviously fill that position with this candidate who's exhibiting similar personality and similar levels of interest of that other person who left. So this way, various tests can be administered. So again, we will take a small recap here. So just for us to understand, we have studied the selection process. We have seen through what are the needs, why is it that, what is the importance of each of these steps, like background verification, medical examination, drug testing, tests, preliminary screening, all these things we have seen. There's just one point which we have left out. I think you would have noticed, interviews. About interviews, again, we will have to study about it a little more in detail. What are the different types of interviews, the process in which an interview has to be conducted. All these topics we will deal with in the next video. So I shall be signing off for now. Bye. Thank you.